What's up everybody, Matt Powell at Pramek.com. What I want to talk to you about tonight is I want to talk to you about the wedge, but footwork that goes along with the wedge. We have a lot of people that picked up the wedge. It's a lot of people's favorite videos. They love it. The problem is that as they're working with the wedge, they end up in a situation where they can't figure out their footwork with exactly what they're doing with it. So I wanted to go over a couple of pointers tonight. Now this is not only for the wedge, this is any type of deflection or parry that you're using in your boxing or striking stances. This is something that we're covering in our striking video with drills and with footwork and movement. But thought I'd give you a little bit of a preview so it would make a little bit more sense to you, and then talk about some of the strategy behind why we're moving in this direction. So I'm going to go ahead and work with my training partner. You can get your training partner and work with them. What we want to do is that we want to get our feet, and I'm not sure what this white stuff is, so no clue. Go ahead and get your feet. You want to line them up with your shoulders, and then whatever your footwork generally is, I line them up with my shoulders, then I lift and I come back. I get it almost in, not a complete V like this, but a little bit of a modified L stance, not a T stance, L stance. Now, as Walter comes in, what we're going to work on is I want to show you that when he's striking, there's two types of wedges that we talk about, and we're going to talk about cutting into the wedge and cutting away from the wedge. So when he strikes and I wedge, I'm going to move to the side. So if you get my feet, now, why do I not want to wedge to the opposite side? I'm trying to use the wedge to get to the outside. I'm not trying to use the wedge to get inside, because if he follows up and I've wedged to this side while I'm cutting away, then I'm going to end up taking one to the face. Boom, right there. So one more time. So in effect, I've wedged, but I've walked right into his other hand. So I'm going to wedge away from it. Right there, okay? So make sure that when you're cutting and you're trying to step away, if you're stepping back, you want to step away at an angle from the person. Now let's talk about cutting into the wedge so that we can get into the face, we can get into the eyes, the neck, control the shoulders, and so forth. So we're going to go slow, but I want to show you what we're talking about with footwork. One of the things that we don't want to do is I don't want to engage his eyesight to where he sees me going off to the side, way over here. I don't want to do that. He has more depth perception problems if my hand is coming this way than if my body is going this way. I don't want my body going over here where it engages his eyes to look in that direction and get a defensive stance to work against me. I'm going to use my footwork along with the wedge to cut into the incoming punch so that I'm moving towards him instead of to the opposite side and not engaging his defensive stance beyond where he's at. All I want to do is this close distance. So we'll go slow. As I move in, I'm moving directly into the punch and cutting it with the wedge. I can follow up, I can follow up here, I can follow up across. What I don't want to do is come way out here because he's simply going to turn in that direction. And now we're back at square one. I want to cut into the wedge here. That way, he doesn't have a chance to readjust his strategy. Once he throws that punch, I've already cut through it. Now, I'm not going to take a direct step into him, because if I take a direct step into him, he can break through and he can come with the knee. I'm going to step off at an angle. Now I've got control and I can kick. So, thanks. We'll look at the two things of footwork real quick. If you're cutting to get away from the punch or the strike, you're going to be moving here. There. If you're cutting into it, you're going to cut your feet directly into it this way at a slight angle. Don't walk right into him. Cut off to the side. Do not cut to the outside. Cut in. Do not cut out. You're just going to get him turning to you. Anyway, it's a good lesson for you to work on your footwork with the wedge. If you haven't picked up the wedge, go ahead and pick it up in our shop. Special thanks to Walter. You're going to be seeing a whole lot more of him. And Key and Tell Media, as usual, for doing the video. See you soon. Thanks a lot.